A very good morning to one and all. Today concept is about equivalence of PDS and CFG. In the last class, I explained you how to design the PDS, and as well as I explained you how to write the translation rules for the PDA. And from the given language, I explained you how to design and how to phrase the logic, and from the logic how to design the rules, and from the design rules and how to draw the or how to represent the transition diagram. These are the things that I explained you in the last classes for the concept of designing PDS. And here in this class I'm going to explain about an equivalence of PDS and CFGs. And also in the last classes I covered the concept of acceptance of the input strings by final states as well as by the empty stacks, and with the theorems also I explained you all those, right? And the other concept we're going to learn about here is about the conversions of PDA and CFG. And before entering into the conversions of PDA and CFG, first you need to know how to do the equivalence of PDAs and CFGs, and then going to learn about the conversion from CFG to PDA as well as PDA to CFG. And here we're having the both vice versa conversion. That means if the input is in an PDA, you can convert it into an CFG. If the input is in CFG, you can get convert it into an PDA. These are the things we are going to learn. And in this class, I am mainly explaining you about the equivalence of PDAs and CFGs, and see how we are equating the both PDA and CFGs. And the CFGs are equivalents to PDAs as well as those are equivalents to context free languages. Whenever the automaton is equivalent to context free grammars, automatically it should be equivalent to the context free languages. So this is a simple architecture for that model. PDA by final state as well as PDA by empty stack. I already show you how it is getting equivalent. We can convert from final state to empty and empty to final state, right? And here, uh, or we can convert it from the PDA to CFG from the final as well as from the empty stack, right? That's the thing we're learning now. We're understanding how to convert the how to make the equivalence between the PDA and CFG, and then knowing about the conversion of those two. And this is the concept of converting CFG to PDA, where it is same as an implementing of CFG using an PDA. That means this can be called as a block diagram of or a model of converting from CFG to PDA. Initially, we are taking an input in the form of a string, and here we are doing an PDA acceptance by empty stack. That means we are showing it as an N of A, and finally we are giving an output whether it is acceptable or rejectable. And in between of this, we are implementing an CFG. And what the main idea of this conversion process is, here the PDA should always simulates to the leftmost derivation. That means here we are using a leftmost derivation and on a given input string W, and upon consuming it fully, it either arrives at acceptance just by showing it as an empty stack, or non acceptance showing it by a non-empty stack, right? That's the idea of this. That means we're having two types of derivations, right? One is a leftmost derivation, another one is a rightmost derivation. But here the PDA always simulates the leftmost derivation for the input string. That means starting from left and ending to right. That means reading an input from starting at left and ending at right. So after consumption of the input string, finally if it arrives an acceptance by empty stack, means then we can say that it is an acceptable. Here we are showing it by an empty stack. Mainly we are going it the PDA acceptance by an empty stack. And what the steps that we are having here for conversion process is, first step is you need to push the right hand side of the production onto the stack with the leftmost symbols at the top of the stack. And with the example it is very clear to you all, but now I'm just explaining what the steps that we are having for the conversion of this CFG into PDA. And if the top of the stack is leftmost variable, then you need to replace it by all its production. That means each possible substitution will represent a distinct path that was taken by the non-deterministic PDA. And if the top of the stack has a terminal symbol, and if it matches with the next symbol in the input string, then you need to pop it. That means what you are going to learn here is when to do the pop and when to do the push. That means always we need to push whenever we read an input from the input string. What we're doing after reading, you need to push it onto the stack. Then after pushing somewhere, you need to do the pop, right? Why? To make the stack empty, or to make the input alphabet empty. Finally, you need to show the acceptance of the input string, right? So for that, if the top of the stack has a terminal symbol, and if it matches to the input string, whatever I am reading, and if the both matches, means you need to do the pop, right? And first, what the thing is, you need to push the right hand side of the productions. Only the right hand side of the productions are to be pushed onto the stack, and with leftmost symbols at the top of the stack. And then after that, the leftmost variables where were placed it on the top of the stack, you need to check it out. If then you need to replace it by all its productions. Then always you need to choose an appropriate rule at a time. No, don't go for backtrackings here. Backtracks are not allowed. And once if you choose an correct production, then finally you get acceptable. Otherwise you need to do the backtrackings, and once if you do the backtrack, means finally the conversion process gets failed. And here the top of the stack is always a leftmost variable, and then you need to replace the productions of the leftmost variable. And the replacing also should be, you need to choose a correct appropriate replacement, and then you need to make it as an acceptable, right? You need to make it as an acceptance by showing it as an acceptable state. So here the possible substitutions are most important. Choosing the possible substitutions are most important, and these will represent a distinct path that are taken by the non-deterministic PDA. What I am saying from the starting of this unit 4 is, directly we're not learning the DPDA. DPDA is nothing but a deterministic PDA. All these, whatever the designings that we're doing for the languages, all these are the NPDAs. That means non-deterministic PDAs that we are designing here. So the same thing we're taking from the NPDAs, and then finally you need to show the acceptance of the input strings. So this is the steps, these are the steps that we're having here, and this is the procedure that we need to follow for converting from a context free grammar into an PDA. And here, if the state is consequential, so only one state is needed here. And this is the formal construction of an PDA from the CFG. And my input is G is equal to VTPS, and what the output that I need here is PN. PN is nothing but an PDA for non-deterministic PDA, and that means Q, T, V. That means here we are having 7 tuples, right? But our input is an 4 tuple, and finally we're generating it into a 7 tuple machine. Q is nothing but an states, terminals, input alphabets, and stack alphabets, transition del, initial state, and final state, as well as we're having a stack alphabet also. So initial stack symbol S in the both inputs, given input and the output, the initial stack symbol S. That means same as the start symbol in the given grammar. And del, how to do the transition mapping function here is, and for all the variables should belongs to V. That means A belongs to V. A is nothing but an some variable in the given grammar, and that should belongs to the V. V is an variable, that is you can also call it as a non-terminals, and you need to add the following transitions in the PDA. So how to add the following transitions means, for example, if the current state is an Q, and the epsilon is an input alphabet, A is on top of the stack of the stack symbol, top of the stack symbol. Then it should give the output like this: Q, comma alpha. Alpha is nothing but what the A is giving. The rule for the A is alpha. So in the place of this A, we substitute alpha here, right? Where A tends to alpha belongs to production. Like this you need to convert, or else, see, this is a stack symbol, you need to show the stack representation also. And this is before and this is after. Before it is a variable, and after it is a terminal, right? So if for all A, if A is belongs to V, or else for all A belongs to T terminals, then you need to add the following transitions in the PDA like this: Q the terminal and the terminal. That means you need to pop, right? So then it becomes q comma epsilon. That means the top of the stack and the input alphabets are same. Both are terminals, means you need to pop, right? Then it becomes epsilon. These are the two most important transition rules that we need to follow for constructing the PDA, context free grammar to PDA. Please make a note of these two. These two will be useful for us when you are doing the construction from context free grammar to PDA. Make a note of these two. When the transition mapping function del of q comma epsilon comma a is q comma alpha, from where you get the alpha means the rule, the product, the variable that was defined with an alpha. So we're having in production like an a tends to alpha. So the right hand side of the production is substituted. It was replaced in the place of the variable a, right? So or else if you want to pop the terminals, when we are having the input as well as the top of the stack are terminals, means you need to pop that and you need to show that it is an epsilon, right? So first what the thing you need to do is you need to write the transition rules of the PDA like this from the given grammar. Then you need to show that the conversion from context free grammar to PDA. And see here, this is before and this is after pop. Before my stack contains a, and after reading my input a and by seeing the top of the stack both are terminals, so pop, right? And here before I'm having a variable a in my top of the stack. Now what I need to do, I need to replace the right hand side of the productions of this a, and according to my grammar I'm having a tends to alpha is a production, so just I place alpha in the place of this a. I replace alpha in the place of this a, right? This is the formal construction of PDA from the CFG. From the CFG, we're converting an PDA. And these are the two most important transition rules that we're having here for the conversion from CFG to PDA. Please make a note of these two examples. These two, make a note of these two rules. These two rules will be useful for us for doing the practice of the conversion from CFG to PDA, right? And now I'm showing you the example for this concept. See here. What the grammar is, my grammar, my input is SA01PS. That means the productions are S tends to AS or epsilon, A tends to 0, A1 or A1 or 01. That means this is a given input and the solution for that is I need to convert it into an PDA, right? So I am defining the 7 rules from this. Q01 are the terminals and 01 SA. Along with these two, V and T combining both, we are defining the stack alphabets. Transition del is the most important thing here, and Q is an initial state, and in the both you need to show the stack symbol with the S, right? It is a starting symbol. It is a starting symbol with an S. So my productions are S tends to AS or epsilon, A tends to 0 A1 or A1 or 01. So now let's start the conversion. Now I need to define the del. Del is, I'm having a rule 1, right? What the rule 1, what the transition rule 1 from the formal construction, del of q comma epsilon comma s is, you need to place the right hand side productions of this s, right? You need to place the right hand side of this production s. So I'm having two rules for this s. So what I'm doing here is just I'm defining the two rules like this. A one time q comma as and another time q comma epsilon, right? And same for the a also. A is having three rules, so you need to define all these three rules. Q epsilon comma a means in the place of a, if one time I need to substitute, I can replace 0 a1, at one time I can replace a1, or at one time I can replace 0 1. So these are the transition rules for the variables. Now coming to the terminals, how the terminals, what the terminals I'm having here from the given grammar, 0 1. So if it is 0 0, then you need to pop, make it as an epsilon, or if it is 1 1, you need to pop, make it as an epsilon, right? So see here, this is a transition diagram. Only one state I'm choosing here, and with the one state I'm showing you the all the transition rules for this. See here, when it is epsilon s, then I need to show as. When it is epsilon s, then the output is epsilon. When it is epsilon a, the output is 0 a1, or epsilon a, the output is a1. With epsilon a, the output is 0 1. Only with one state we did all this, so that's why we put a self representation for the q like this, and for the self loop we are giving an input inputs as well as with an outputs. Initially, we need to start with an epsilon, and epsilon with the starting symbol s, and finally it gives an s. Because here we're not defining the z naught as a stack alphabet. Only we're taking the s as a starting symbol for the both context-free grammar as well as the PDA. That's why in the place of z naught we use s like this, and the output that we are getting from this is s. Right? Is it clear? So this is the way of representing the transition diagram for the given context free grammar, as well as these are the PDA rules. These are the PDA rules. And how will this PDA works? That means you need to show that, right? You need to show the PDA acceptance by empty stack. So after writing these rules, first you need to write the rules for the variables, and then you need to write the rules for the terminals, and finally these are the transition rules that we get from the given grammar G. And by simulating the string 0011, you need to check it out whether we can simulate it, and whether finally you can show as an empty stack or not. If you show it as an empty stack means, then after that the whatever the designed PDA, whatever the designed transition rules that we did for the given context free grammar is correct. And I will show you how to simulate the string for this. Before that, I need to make you understand more easily just by taking more examples of this concept. And let's see more examples of this concept. Is it clear to you all? Please make a note of this example along with the transition diagram. Once I'm giving you 5 minutes of time, please make a note of this example. Put a heading, conversion from CFG to PDA, and note down example number 1, where G is equal to, note down these two tuples and note down the productions, as well as note down the PDA from the G, and finally give the transition rules for the PDA conversion. And finally, these are the 4 transition rules that we get from the given grammar. And you need to show the transition diagram also. These are the rules, and from the rules, from the design rules, we represent the transition diagram. Right. Make a note of this example. And I start the today's session with the concept of equivalence of CFG to PDA, right? What I am showing you here is I'm equating the both CFG to PDA as well as PDA to CFG. That's why I start the concept number 1, that is conversion from CFG to PDA. And after understanding this concept, after making you to understand this concept with more examples, then I will enter into the concept of PDA to CFG. Then finally, I will show you how I equivalent the both CFG to PDA. That means equivalence of CFG to PDA concept will be fulfilled at there. And up to now, whatever the designing PDAs that we are showing you, all those are all comes under the NPDAs, that is non-deterministic PDAs. And at last, we are going to learn the concept that is about an DPDA. You need to know the concept like an DPDA, that is a deterministic PDA with an example. So that's that concept also I will explain later. And before that, I will make you to understand the conversions, the most important conversions of CFG to PDA as well as PDA to CFG. And if it is completed of noting down, please message in the chat box completed, then I will go for the further slide. And now see the some of the examples of CFG to PDA conversion. And here the first symbol on RHS production must be a terminal symbol. That means the following steps are used to obtain the PDA from CFGs. Step 1, convert the given productions of CFG into GNF. And the step 2 is the PDA will only have one state. And the step 3 is the initial symbol of the CFG will be the initial symbol in the PDA. And step 4 is for non-terminal symbols, add the following rules. These are the rules. And step 5 is for terminal symbols, add the following rules. And what the rules are, these are the two rules that I already explained you in the before slides. Just by recalling all those step by step. Here we're having 5 steps procedure, and in those 5 steps, the last 2 steps are most important for designing the transition rules. And first thing is you need to convert the given productions of the CFG into GNF. And the second thing is only with one state you need to do the PDA, right? That means you need to design an PDF only with one state. And the third is the initial symbol, as already said, that S, the initial symbol of the CFG will be the initial symbol of the PDA. And also the fourth step and the fifth step are for designing the PDA transition rules. All these are the things I already explained you. And now let's see with an example. The example number 1, convert the following grammar to a PDA that accepts the same language. And here what the grammar is S0 S1 or A tends to 1A0 or S or epsilon. That means S is having 2 production rules and A is having 3 production rules. And first I need to define the transition rules for the S and A, and then the terminals that I'm having here are 0 and 1. So I need to show step 4 and step 5. And before that, uh, you need to check it out whether the given grammar is in a CFG or not. Sorry, whether the given grammar is in GNF or not. So for that, I start a solution. The CFG can be first simplified by eliminating unit productions. Here I'm having an unit production like an A, right? S tends to A. So I need to eliminate that unit production, and in the place of this A, just I substitute the rules of the A. And the rules that I'm having for the A are these. So I'm substituting all the rules of this. And here my production of the S becomes 0S1 or 1S0 or epsilon. And then now we will convert the CFG into GNF. How we are converting means, see, this is a unit and this is unit. You need to remove these units, right? And to remove these units, as well as here I'm having an epsilon production, I need to remove these epsilons, right? So I need to simplify this, and finally I need to convert this into an GNF. So it can be written as 0 as x. For x I am choosing 1, and for 0 I am choosing y. So 0 as x or 1 as y or epsilon. I'm taking epsilon here also. I'm showing you with the epsilon, where the epsilon is also an input symbol, or else s is defining an epsilon, right? S is defining an epsilon. You need to put epsilon in the place of this s. You need to put epsilon in the place of this s, and finally you are getting the two rules like 0x or 0y, right? But here my PDA is an non-deterministic PDA, so the epsilons are acceptable here. So I am considering the epsilon. Why I am considering the epsilon here means, as from the rules or as from the syntax of the GNF, for the starting symbol, if you are having an epsilon means it is acceptable for the Grebeck normal form. But if we are having an epsilon for x or y means it was not acceptable. That's why I am considering this epsilon here. I am not eliminating this epsilon, as from the rules or from the algorithm of the ZNF, the starting symbol can define the epsilon. It is acceptable for the Grebeck normal form. So that's why I'm continuing the epsilon. I'm not eliminating this epsilon. But the units are not acceptable and the uselesses are not acceptable. So by checking the grammar, I'm having units. So I'm removing all those units. When I remove the units means, here I remove the unit. Yeah, if I want to remove the unit means I need to substitute what the A is defining, and I need to remove the epsilon also, right? So finally, A becomes an useless. A becomes an useless symbol. So what I did here is only with an S, I rewritten the rules like this: S tends to 0 S1 and 1 S0 or epsilon. And finally, my Greeback normal form syntax is starting with a terminal. It should be followed by any number of non-terminals, but I'm having the terminal here, and it is not in the form of ZNF, so I'm converting it into an ZNF like this, just by making an assumption of the productions with X and Y like this. X is defining y 1 and Y is defining 0. So wherever I'm having 1, after x I'm putting it as an x, and 0 I'm putting it as an y. So finally I convert it into an ZNF. So this is my modified context free grammar, and for this modified grammar now I need to write the production rules. The PDA transition rules can be defined as, and here I'm having three rules, right? Three variables s, x, y. So first I need to write del of q comma epsilon comma s, and it gives an output of these three: q with 0 sx, q with 1 sy, and q with epsilon. And del of q comma epsilon comma x, and it gives an output of 1 q comma 1. Del of q comma epsilon comma y, and it gives an output 0 q comma 0. And with this the three variables, the writing of the transition rules for these variables are completed. And now I am checking out what are the terminals that I'm having in the grammar. 0 and 1 are the terminals. So if it is 0 0, then it is epsilon. If it is 1 1, then it is epsilon. So with 5 rules I completed defining the transition rules of the PDA. And we up to this, uh, the conversion from context free grammar to PDA is completed. But you need to check it out, right? You need to check it out whether it is acceptable or not, whether the design rules are giving an acceptance or not. That means the PDA is giving an acceptance by empty stack or not. So for that you need to choose any input string, and you need to simulate that input string, and finally you need to show the empty stack of the PDA, and therefore it is acceptable, right? Here I'm having the another example, and here I'm showing you an acceptance of the input string. With this example I think you can clearly understand. This is example number 2. See the example number 2. Construct the PDF for the given context free grammar and test whether 0 1 0 power 4, not 0 4, 0 power 4 is acceptable by this PDA. 0 power 4 in the sense 4 zeros, 0 1 4 zeros you are having here. 0 1 4 zeros is acceptable by this PDA or not. So what the grammar is here: s tends to 0 bb, 0 b tends to 0 s or 1 s or 0. And from the given grammar we are not having unit productions, we are not having epsilons, and we are not having useless symbols. How I can say that not having useless symbols means, see here, s, if I use the rule for the s, 0 bb in the place of here, finally the b's are directly defining the terminal 0. Or in the place of this s, if I use 0 bb, finally the b is directly defining zeros. That means I am generating the terminals. I'm generating the terminals, and again everything is from the reachable, that is starting to ending it is unreachable, and from starting state to the ending state it is generating the terminals. So everything is in the format of ZNF. And now I need to check it out whether it is also in the syntax of the ZNF or not. Starting with the terminal, I'm having the terminal was followed by non-terminals. Here the terminal was followed by non-terminal, terminal followed by non-terminal, directly terminal. So every rule is in the form of the ZNF. So nothing modification can be done here. Everything is in a correct format. Directly the given grammar is acceptable for converting into an PDA. So the direct grammar G that I am taking here to convert, and now I am writing the PDA for the given grammar. What the PDA rules are means, PDA rules in the sense I am defining an PDA initial itself with the 7 tuples, and then I need to design the transition rules, PDA transition rules from this, right? And here I'm defining with an Q. Q is a starting symbol. 0 1 from the grammar, zeros and ones are the inputs, and with the variables and with the terminals, combining all those, and it gets into a stack alphabet. And transition function del. Q is a starting symbol and S is the uh, starting state, right? And Z naught we're not defining here. S is the starting state. And so here the production rules are, for first you need to define for S and B, and then you need to define for 0 and 1s, right? So rule 1 for S, del of Q comma epsilon comma S is, and only we're having one rule for this, directly Q comma 0 BB. And for B we're having three rules. Q del of Q comma epsilon comma B is Q with 0s and Q with 1s and Q with 0. So with this, the defining of the rules for S and B are completed. Now we need to define the rules for zeros and ones. So del of 0 Q comma 0 0. If you pop these two, then it is epsilon. Another rule is del of Q comma 1. If you pop these two, then it becomes epsilon. So these are the design transition rules from the given grammar, right? Up to this it was completed, but you need to check it out. You need to test whether the input string was acceptable or not. So I'm taking an input string like this. Q, my input string is 0 1 4 zeros, right? And starting symbol is an S, right? So S. Now this is an instantaneous descriptor symbol. You need to put the symbol like this, put the sign like this, and with this sign you need to show the acceptance. Del of, now I am reading 0, this 0, and I'm reading the 0, but my stack symbol is an S. So what I need to do is I need to substitute or replace what the right hand side of the production of the S is. S is defining 0 BB, right? So I'm substituting 0 BB in the place of this S. Now my stack becomes 0 BB. My top of the stack becomes 0 BB. That means my top of the stack contains B, right? So now I am reading this. This is 0 and this is 0. You need to do pop. By using rule 3, you need to do pop. This is rule 1. This is rule 1. That means Q epsilon S is 0 BB. Right? This is rule 1. And this is rule 2. You pop 0 0 by applying rule 3. And my input alphabet is, my input string is 1 4 zeros, and here I'm lefting out BB. BB is on the top of the stack. Now, in the place of this B, you need to use rule number 2, because Q epsilon B, you need to pop 1, right? So I'm having three rules here, but I'm choosing the second rule, because to pop 1 I need to use second rule. So I'm substituting 1SC in the place of this, and 1 and 1 according to rule 4, this thing is pop. Rule 4, it was pop. And my stack contains, my input string contains 4 zeros SB. And now Q, again you need to apply rule 1, Q epsilon S. That means Q comma 0 BB. In the place of this S, you need to substitute 0 BB. Now this 0 and this 0 gets popped by rule 3. And my stack contains 3 zeros and 3 Bs now. Right, 3 zeros and 3 Bs. And here I'm having another rule for the another rule for B, that is from rule 2, I am choosing Q comma 0. That means Q epsilon B, I am choosing this Q comma 0. Just I'm substituting 0 in the place of this B. So by applying rule 3, this 0 and this 0 gets popped. And I'm having two zeros and two B's. Again, I'm applying rule 2. In the rule 2, I'm choosing this rule, Q comma 0. In the place of this B, I'm substituting 0. Now, by applying rule 3, this 0 and this 0 gets popped. And my input alphabet is 0 and my stack contains B. Again, I'm applying rule 2. In that, again, I'm choosing Q comma 0 and I'm substituting that in the place of this B. And according to rule 3, this 0 and this 0 gets popped, and finally it gets Q comma epsilon. So it is acceptable. That means the PDA, the input string 0 1 0 power 4 is accepted by the PDA. That means we make it as an empty stack. We make it as an empty stack. That means the PDA belongs to N of A here. The PDA belongs to N of A here. So this is the way of doing the acceptance of the input string. For not only this example, for every example, this is the procedure we need to follow for testing out just by taking an input string and showing that whether it is accepting by an empty stack or not, right? Please make a note of this example. Please make a note of this example number 2. All of you note down this example number 2. And in the next class, I will explain you with more examples of this concept, as well as I will enter into the second conversion, that is PDA to CFG conversion. Up to now, I explained you about CFG to PDA conversion, and in the next class, I'm going to explain you PDA to CFG. That means the input is in PDA, and I'm making you to understand how to convert it into an CFG, right? And please make a note of this example. This is the most important example. Here in this example, I show you how to write the transition rules of the PDA, as well as how to test the input string, and how to show that the PDA was acceptable by an empty stack.